What is going on, everyone? It's Rob and Jonny. Welcome to episode 54 of the MMArcade podcast. Today is a special day. I realized late this morning and then I texted you, Rob, happy birthday, bro.
Cheers, dude. Thank you very much. I feel like, I don't know. I feel different. I feel changed. I feel like prime Rob has just landed and and he's old and sore.
No, You're not old.
I'm excited. I'm excited because I don't know. I always like the number 4. So whenever 4 hits it, like an age bracket for me, I'm in good moods, good spirits. I know this is my prime year. I have that. I've mentioned before. I have that rough, soft cap when I want to finish fighting. So I reckon I'm going to put in the hardest legs of my career ahead of me and just wrap up on a high note.
You said that hard soft cap is like 36. Is it still 36?
Yeah. I think so. 36, like close to 37-ish. Like,
all right.
That's where I think I'm going to be comfortable with.
Fair. Alrighty, well, we're going to be talking about, it's a few days removed now, but we will be talking about some of the results in UFC Tampa with Joaquin Buckley versus Colby Covington. Got a couple of news pieces for you as well. So if you are new to the podcast, please like, subscribe. But let's start off with that main event in UFC Tampa. Joaquin Buckley TKOs Colby Covington. It was a doctor stoppage, an eye cut, but it was a TKO. Rob, break down the fight for me. What's your thought?
Break it down. Like, what do I say? Buckley just beat the hell out of Covington. And I may have mentioned on the week before, like this was kind of like a do or die moment for Covington.
Yeah.
But he looked bad. Covington looked bad. Like, and understandably, like after the fight, he was like, I just came off the couch. You look like you came off the couch, dude. Like you fought like it. He was all the talk at one point in the game. You know, he was such a force to be reckoned with. And then he got dismantled. And, props to Buckley. He's been so active lately. You could see how sharp he was for that factor. Like, he understood the game. He had to make Covington pay on his way in. He had to make him pay on his way out. He had to make Covington shoot out of desperation, not freely. And he did that the entire fight. And then the moments he had to use his wrestling defense, he did it perfectly, you know? Mm-hmm. Well, there's something I want to touch on, but let me ask, like, what do you think?
Buckley destroyed him, man. Absolutely destroyed him. You talked about the takedown defense. Colby only got 1 out of 8 takedowns, and when he was shooting, you're right, it felt very desperate. Like, this is the only thing that I can do to survive, because outside of that, he was just getting battered, man. 75 to 37 significant strikes. Buckley's jabs, body shots, he never overthrew, but everything he threw still had a lot of power. I felt bad for Colby in some moments because he's been on a tear, man. He's now, since moving to welterweight, obviously he was in your division, 6-fight win streak. Moreno, Luque, Ruziboyev, Wonderboy, Colby Covington now. 4 fights and 4 wins this year. That's insane, bro. So kudos to Buckley. He smashed him. And I agree that Covington didn't look that good.
He's putting in serious work in like this year. I saw, and the commentators mentioned a crazy statistic. I think he's had 15 fights since 2020.
That's insane.
That's what? Like I don't know how real it is. I'm not sort of dude to start Googling.
Let's just go with it.
Every time I'll roll it. I do know he's fought 4 times this year, and like they're against opposition. You know, he looks good, dude. Like really good. Looks better than he has in his last few fights. He just looked confident, like super confident. And I will say Colby didn't. Colby looks like, to me, didn't want to be there. He did not want to be there. I didn't see any hunger in his eyes. The faces he was making when he was getting hit wasn't good. Obviously nobody likes getting hit, but like you're in the top 2, you're in the top 10 of the best fighters in the world, dude. Like, I don't know, and mate, this isn't Covington we saw going up through the rankings. This isn't the Covington that fought RDA. This isn't the Covington that, I don't know. I've seen a massive change. Like he's wrestling. Granted, people have picked up on his trick. Like his trick is like his cardio and his wrestling, right? And he had some really hard fights with Usman. He got dismantled by Leon. I don't know. He hasn't – I can't say he hasn't looked good. I want to say he hasn't looked good recently because he hasn't. But he has been fighting very, very high-level opponents that have specifically countered and taken apart his game in particular. Okay, but of all people, I thought we could have seen old Colby against Buckley, of all people. You know, but Buckley said nay, and just went to work, dude. And I think maybe Colby's left the building. You know,
I think he has as well, and part of me wants to attribute it to the fact that he didn't have a fight camp. We know that that's true. It was a short turnaround for him because obviously Ian Gary was meant to fight Buckley. He was moved forward to fight Shavkat. So part of me needs to accept that. If we accept that with other fighters, we have to accept it with him. But we saw it in the Leon Edwards fight in particular, and now with Buckley. I think the ship has sailed for Colby Covington. I don't think he's ever going to be in that top 5 of the welterweight division.
Doesn't seem hungry anymore, does he?
Nah, and he doesn't fight that frequently. Like once a year on average. I just don't know if he wants to do it anymore. And I know afterwards he was talking about how, fight shouldn't have stopped. We know that Colby traditionally does better in the later rounds. You touched on his cardio. Hell of cardio. He took some shots, man. He does still have a chin, right? Chin, cardio. Maybe he could have done something, but he still lost those first 3 rounds on all the judges' scorecards. Unless we're talking knockout or submission, he had nothing.
His cardio didn't seem that much better than Buckley's. Like Buckley was doing super well.
He was.
Buckley, like he didn't slow down any more than Colby did. And honestly, I didn't see he said the fight shouldn't have been stopped. I didn't see that fight going that long. Dude,
I wanted to ask you, do you think it was the right call to stop the fight?
If it wasn't that, it was going to be something else. I thought it was a matter of time. Colby's reactions to getting hit was terrible the entire fight. Yeah. He had no answer for anything. And it's not like he was getting belted, but there were moments of threat. And, we'll talk about this on not great detail, but we'll talk about it with the Dustin Jacoby fight later on. Yeah. That was a prime example of guys getting pumped, but he's in there to fight.
Yeah.
He's in there to fight. I didn't see that fight in Covington. You know what I mean?
No.
And you know what is surprising? Another thing, he didn't walk out with his team. He walked out with, who was in his corner?
Hulk Hogan and Chael Sonnen. Yeah.
Chael Sonnen. What's his team? Where's he training? You know what I mean? I just don't think he's, I don't know. I don't think he wants to fight anymore.
It's a really good point that you mentioned that, man, because I swear Dana White said something in recent times where he would never allow fighters to walk out without their team. He wouldn't allow call it shenanigans that takes place in something like WWE. But he walks out with Hulk Hogan. When does that actually ever happen before? Did he get a pass? That's very funny.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Colby ship's sailed, especially taking one fight a year at age 36.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got another couple fights in you then, really. I don't know.
And even though the cut, the biggest example is Irene Aldana, that fight wasn't stopped and the cut was way, way worse. This was the eye, I will say. And that blood was thick, man. Did you see Buckley's knee? It was pooling up. It was just not good. It was not good.
Yeah, and you could see it was disturbing Colby as well. He was wiping it constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. So, yeah.
All right. So, Colby, I thought it was a fair stoppage. It's clear that he's not in the top 5 range anymore. But when it comes to Joaquin Buckley, he absolutely is. He's now ranked 6th in welterweight. This is what the division breaks down as. Obviously, we've got the champ, Bilal. We've got Leon Edwards 1, Shavkat 2. He's going to be fighting Bilal next. Kamaru Usman 3, JDM 4, Sean Brady 5, and Joaquin Buckley 6. How do you feel about that top 6, man? Looking good?
Dude, yeah, I think it's a changing of the guard. Much like middleweight to a degree as well. It's a changing of the guard, new fire, new hungers going up, and the old dogs are either hanging in there or slowly getting shuffled down a bit. It's just natural. It's a way of life, a circle of life. You have to embrace it.
Yeah, there's going to be some really interesting matchups, man. I want to know who the hell Kamaru Usman's fighting. Everybody is calling out Usman. I personally, if they could have made it, I would have loved to have seen Jack Della Maddalena fight Usman in Sydney, just because I could be there. That would be sick, but apparently that's not on the cards. We know Leon's going to fight in the UK. Leon could find Sean Brady maybe, but where does that leave Buckley? I don't know, man. And Ian Gary's in the mix as well. We can't forget about him. So what would you like to see if you were to give your preferences here?
I'd like to see JDM fight Usman because I think that gets him a legitimate title shot, and I think it's a fight that is in his favor.
I agree.
I'd wager. I'd put my wage on JDM beating Usman. Shavkat's fighting Muhammad, obviously.
Correct.
I'd like Buckley. It's hard. I'd like Buckley fighting maybe Gary. That would be
I agree.
cool.
They should just remake that fight. I agree.
Yeah, wouldn't hate that fight. Wouldn't hate that fight at all. But it's one of those fights that kind of doesn't really push either guy in any direction. Maybe it gets Buckley closer to the title shot. But Buckley's done some solid work lately. I don't I would. Yeah, he's done solid work lately. I would be I'd be remiss to say that he wouldn't be fighting like one of the true contenders at the top of the chain. Even maybe I said JDM versus Usman would be cool, but Buckley versus Usman could be a fight that's on the cards.
It would be.
Or Buckley versus JDM. Now that would be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
I think that favors JDM as well, but still.
Yeah. It's very interesting because everyone above Buckley does, I say, Sean Brady does deserve to fight up. JDM deserves to fight up. I don't mind Buckley versus Ian Gary because Ian almost bloody submitted Shavkat, right? Even though it was a loss, I still think it gets Buckley back into that conversation. And who else does he fight? If Edwards is fighting Sean Brady and Usman fights JDM at some stage, Shavkat's fighting Bilal, then who does Buckley fight? So that would be the fight that I make. As for Colby, Gilbert Burns, maybe?
No, I think Colby's done. I think he in post fight he was mentioning a bunch of excuses, like he was campaigning with Trump and stuff. Obviously, guys doing a lot of things outside of fighting now.
Yeah,
can't fight top 10, top 5 with distractions like that because the guys you're fighting have none. Yeah. They you know what I mean? It's just And he's 36, 37 next year. I know.
Yeah, and he needs to be laser focused fighting 2-3 times a year. I mean, you have Buckley, 4 fights. It would have been his 4th fight, fighting someone on short notice, no fight camp. He mentioned that multiple times. Barely fighting once a year. I think we all should have expected that result. So if I was to guess, it would probably be Covington against Gilbert Burns. But let's see what happens there. As for the other fights, rest of the card was actually pretty good. Cub Swanson defeating Billy Quarantillo by KO. Wasn't that insane?
It was stellar. It was stellar. Cub Swanson was landing that right hand the entire fight. The entire fight, like a missile.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Billy was he was looking good. He's so tough, dude. He was so tough. Mm-hmm. He put Cub in a really bad position. I think the round before it got stopped. So what, mate, is that 2? Yeah, 2? Or was it even in the beginning of 3 maybe?
Mm.
Put him in a really bad spot. Had him up against the wall, landed a knee at the end of the combination. But Cub still got it, dude. And he's
always has it, man.
He's always had power.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's becoming like old power. And
that man, like strength.
I said, he had a heat-seeking missile on his right hand and was just landing it repeatedly on Billy. And I was thinking the entire time when I was watching, I was like, how many can he take? That many.
That left right KO, man. It was beautiful. He knew it was done. It was walk-off. Pristine. Yeah. I thought that was phenomenal. But you know what? Who was also phenomenal as well? Manel Kape defeating Bruno Silva. How slick did he bloody look, dude? That dude's so quick.
Mate. Yeah, he put it on Silva, dude. Put it on him. It was such an impressive showing, and he was talking to Dana White the whole time. Obviously, he's trying to push his agenda of getting a title shot.
Of course.
And honestly, a fight like that kind of shoot lands in one because that was such a stellar showing.
I agree. Look, Dana said he's not getting one immediately. I get it. The obvious answer is Kai France against Manel Kape. The guys hate each other. That would be a banger of a fight. Let's bloody do that. And then the one that you wanted to talk about as well, Dustin Jacoby defeating Vitor Petrino
it's
via
just like
KO.
what I said. Yeah, it's just like what I said before. It's like Dustin was getting whooped. He was getting it put on. And you could see he was in the fight the whole time. Even when he looked bad, even when he was getting punched, he was there. And, he just bided his time and just left no wiggle room with that right hand. Like that hammer fist he threw afterwards was so unnecessary. It was such a clean shot.
Yeah. Dude, the first 2 rounds weren't all that fun. I enjoyed seeing Dustin Jacoby get it done. I don't know what the deal with Vitor Petrino is. He's should
a big dude, eh?
He's a big dude, and he was the favorite in this. I think he was the favorite in the previous fight. This probably should have been a fight that he won, and he was looking to probably win it before he got knocked out. And it's easier said than done, but I don't know how I feel about him. But aside from that was a great card. The main event, not so much, and obviously got stopped short, but I had a lot of fun watching it. Did you have any remaining thoughts before we get into the UFC news?
Mate, you know what? I'm surprised that that's the last card of the year.
Yeah.
I didn't get last card vibes. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because the UFC have always done something like New Year's Day or, you know what I mean? Like they've always done something big, like a big number at the end to finish. But yeah, I don't know. I was surprised because when I was looking at the UFC today, I saw there was no timeline until next year. I was like, wow.
Did you find it weird that they ended with a fight night as opposed to a main numbered card?
I did. That's what I mean. Like it didn't feel like the end of 2024.
I will say this though. Would we have felt a little bit let down after the Shavkat versus Ian Gary fight? Because a lot of that was clinching. I don't know. I think I would have felt a little bit. That was a bit of a letdown. You know what I mean? To end the year. So I don't know. Yeah. Either way.
Very technical, but slow.
It was slow. I enjoyed it, but I know a lot of casual fans didn't. But that was UFC Fight Night in Tampa. That was the UFC for 2024. Can I get you just your overall thoughts, Rob? What do you think of UFC this
year? This year, mate, UFC was crazy. I've seen rise and falls of so many champions and
Pereira turning up on short notice.
Guys,
UFC 300.
Yeah, new top 5 guys. I don't know. It's been, you know what? It's a huge year to unpack. I think we should save it for the end of year special.
That's a good point.
End of year special, because I need to unpack a little bit because it is massive. Too much happened for me to try and go down that mental rabbit hole to try and remember everything.
For sure. Well, speaking of, next week, it is Christmas, so we're all going to have a little bit of time off, but the week after, we'll aim to come back and get an episode out before the end of the year. So stay tuned for that. But next up, we've got some UFC news to talk about. Recently, Dana White, to end the year, announced some of the fights for UFC Saudi Arabia taking place on February 1st. This is a fight card. It is a fight night card, sorry. This is going to be headlined by Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine Imavov. That was rumored for a very, very long time. We've talked about it numerous times in the podcast. That is officially happening now. Imavov coming off a decision win against Brendan Allen, from memory, controversial TKO win over Jared Cannonier, a majority decision win over Roman Dolidze, and obviously Israel just lost against Strickus and also Sean Strickland. Rob, what do you think of this fight?
You know what? I'd lean into Izzy being the favorite. He's so good at what he does, but Imavov's he's a bit of a dog. He can go the distance. You know, he can, and his striking is good. I can see him pushing the pace and pushing the pressure to try to make Adesanya make errors, much like how Dricus fought him, but probably with, I can't say better stand-up because Dricus stand-up legs, right? Just different type of stand-up, a different approach. Is Imavov as tanky as Dricus, right? Because I think Dricus Dricus made a really good blueprint on how to beat Adesanya. Got to make him uncomfortable and come at him. Got to go at him. Make him stress. Don't give him space to play, sort of thing. And I think Imavov's got the skill set to do that, but I'd still lean in Izzy being the favorite. He can fight that counter style so well. And if you don't fall into his baits, into his traps, he'll pick you apart.
Can I ask you, do you think that this might be one of those true changing of the guard moments? Like Nassourdine Imavov is well and truly, I don't know if you want to call him an up-and-comer, but he is one of those rising stars in the middleweight division. Is this going to be a changing of the guard, or is this going to be a moment where Izzy reminds everyone, hey, I'm still bloody good. I've just fought some really tough fights and I've lost?
Yeah, it's hard. Mate, I don't know.
I know you don't like talking about your division, but I want to put you on the spot.
No, I don't know, because Izzy looked so good against Dricus until he didn't, right? I don't know. I think that Izzy beats Imavov.
Yeah, I would lean towards Izzy being the favorite too. I'm very interested to see if Nassourdine can do kind of what Sean Strickland did, put the pressure on, use his boxing, use his springiness, and just get around the counter-striking, because it seemed like before Izzy's counter-striking was impenetrable, but now that we've seen the holes, and Nassourdine in particular has seen the holes, I think there is a chance that he can get it done. I'm undecided as to who I think is actually going to win, but obviously the favorite, the odds on, would probably be Israel. You know what I was thinking about, bro, though? Looking at the ranking of the division, that probably leaves you to fight Caio Borralho next. If you look at everyone else and who everyone else is fighting, that's probably the fight to make. Would you disagree?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
don't leave it like that.
I don't know, because I'm not fighting until next June. Like, I'm taking some time off. I've got some things in the works, so I'm focusing on that stuff. I'm trying to work on some new skill sets. So let's see what my timetable looks like then. Okay, that's as far as I can go.
all I'm saying is, obviously Trick is fighting Sean. Khamzat probably fighting the winner of that. You've got Israel fighting Nassourdine. It looks all right.
Funny you say that, because I saw a rumor that Chimaev might go up and fight Pereira.
Are you serious?
For the title.
No, hold on. Because Pereira just said he's not going to fight Ankalaev next. What? So you just connected the dots for me.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Okay, let's talk hypotheticals here. Khamzat puts a bit of weight on, fighting Alex Pereira. This would truly be Alex's proper wrestling test. Who wins?
Chimaev, easily. Not easily. Chimaev, though. I don't know. Unless like the heavyweight strength changes, there's a dynamic that Chimaev can't take. Chimaev's will get the takedown. And then he's good at what he does. He plays into his strength. But let's say, hypothetically, like Chimaev slows down, gasses a little bit. Yeah. Pereira won't. He can strike asleep, dead tired. Dude's been doing it his whole life. He'll kill Chimaev in the stand-up. It won't be like that Usman-Chimaev fight where Usman was kind of outboxing him a little bit at that period when Chimaev got tired. Yeah. It'll be a slaughter. But
it'll be like what we saw. That is the big question, because if it does get to that stage, we saw how Alex did against Roundtree. Remember, Roundtree won those opening rounds, and then Alex completely battered him in one single round and got it done. Yep. I think that's likely how it goes, but the big question, as it always is with Khamzat, can he get the wrestling and can he get it down in those opening rounds? That would honestly, in my opinion, be Alex's biggest test, because to date, he's either only fought strikers or people that can wrestle and have just wanted to stand and trade with him. And I will never understand why people like Magomed Ankalaev is like, yeah, I just want to trade with Alex Pereira. Why? Go down, like what Tom Aspinall said, rugby tackle him to the bloody ground and take him to the ground. Why is no one doing that? I know it's easier said than done, but
it's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah, of course. Well, look, if it isn't Khamzat Chimaev and it's not Magomed Ankalaev, it's probably Jan then. Maybe the Jan rematch. I don't know, man.
Next year's going to be fun, but
it is going to be very fun. But that is, well, I do want to get your quick opinions though on the second fight that was announced for UFC Saudi Arabia. in your division as well. So we got 2 middleweight fights topping the main card. Shara Magomed Bullet against Michael Venom Page. This is going to be a banger, man. What do you think?
So is Page going up to middleweight, is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. It's Shara against MVP.
Oh, mate. I think it's going to be a boring fight, eh?
Really? No, it can't be. It can't be.
2 guys that are very flashy on the outside, kind of like, I think it'll come across almost like point sparring. I don't know. I'm hoping it doesn't.
So. No.
I'm hoping it doesn't. Like, it's hard.
Shara, man, his striking is very unorthodox, but he's always had a willingness. I remember that Trockley fight. He always has a willingness to go forward. I don't think he's going to let MVP stand there and point. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't say it like that.
I don't know. We're going to see because when Page fought Holland, did you like that fight?
It was interesting.
That's what I mean. It was interesting, and it was cool. He was a straight up Street Fighter character, and I like the way he fights. But I'm thinking, is that what we're in for? You know,
it was because Holland couldn't figure out MVP, and MVP kept tagging him from the outside. And obviously, Ian went about it a very different way with the wrestling. But Shara is not a wrestler, so I genuinely think he's going to figure him out.
I think Shara is going to have a lot of he's going to really target those legs. And really start try and chop them down. So, let's see.
I hope it is a good fight. I think it will be. And then obviously Nassourdine against Izzy to finish the card. I think it's shaping up to be pretty good. But the next piece of news that we need to talk about is Ilia Topuria. There is a lot of news and a lot of talk about what he's going to bloody do next, right? So over the past week, there's been different news stories. And let me break it down, do a bit of a TLDR, right? So Ilia went on Spanish TV and said, since Islam is going to fight in January and he is not going to be ready for April or May, he says he wants to fight the number 1 contender in lightweight, not his division, in lightweight, Charles Oliveira. So everyone's like, hold on, aren't you going to defend your bloody belt against Volk? And then Ilia Topuria's head coach after that confirmed to Submission Radio that Topuria is moving up to lightweight and will vacate his title because of weight cut struggles. Apparently, he almost weighs 190 pounds outside of camp. And then he tweeted out saying, no, I'm not going to leave the title vacant. I'm going to be defending the belt. But he still does say that he wants to move up at some stage. What do you think about all of this, man? Ilia Topuria not fighting Volk and moving up.
I saw something of him saying that that was my last fight at featherweight.
He implied it. He definitely hinted it, yeah.
But, I don't know. If the weight cut's real, if he really is struggling with the weight cut, he can go up. He beat Volk and Holloway, dude.
Yeah.
I'm happy with I'm happy with him going up. Those 2 dudes just ran the division.
They did.
Clean ran the division. So I'd like to see him go up and see what that looks like. See how his box grappling works against those bigger dudes. See how big he gets in those fights, because he's obviously a chiseled guy.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm very curious. But then that also kind of leaves the division open to be run again by either Max or Volk, right? Because I still don't see anyone getting close to those 2 guys.
Yeah, because if you do look at the rankings, right, it's in a weird position because we just had Movsar beat Sterling in a very close fight. You have Diego Lopez there, but Movsar has defeated Diego. So if Ilia actually did vacate the title and he moved up, you probably have to have, would you say Volk against Holloway? I don't know. We've seen them fight God knows how many times.
3 times.
3. I mean, let's go for a 4th. Why not?
Who fights for the vacant title? Who is more deserving than those 2 guys to fight for the vacant title?
Diego's got to be in that conversation. Diego Lopez has put on some bangers. I would say you've probably have to have Diego Lopez fight Movsar Evloev, because I think Movsar would be pissed off because he's beaten Diego. Yes, when he made his debut. Yes, I think on short notice. But I don't know. Let's do one of those freaking tournaments, right? 2 and 2, and then the winners fight each other. That's the best way to do it. Mortal Kombat
on the same night.
On the same night. Why not? But look, Ilia did tweet and say, no, look, I'm not leaving my title vacant. I'm going to fight. He's probably going to fight Alexander Volkanovski next year. But can I ask you, in a hypothetical, how do you think Ilia does against the likes of Islam Makhachev?
Mate, too many unknowns. I don't know what he looks like as a lightweight. But could
hit even harder. Yeah.
If Makhachev went down to fight Topuria beats him, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, his chin will probably be compromised with the weight.
I can't do it the other way around.
Yeah.
Because at lightweight, Islam's so strong and powerful, and his boxing and kickboxing is like really top notch. It's come a long way since we first saw him land.
Islam did say, though, that, hey, I've had enough of fighting smaller guys, referring to Volkanovski. If there is anyone that does deserve to move up in weight or potentially even down to fight for a double belt, it is Islam. I can understand if Islam doesn't want to fight Topuria and he wants to try his hand at a double belt, but he's not going to fight Bilal. So, what? But
Islam's only defended his belt like 3 times, right?
Yeah, but twice against Volk and then against Poirier. I would say that's pretty good. It's more than some others in the division. It's more than but Topuria beat Max and Volk.
I only say this because when champs go up or down, it stalls the division out so hard.
You're right.
Hard.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't get me wrong. If I was champ, I'd be doing the same thing. I'm no saint here. I'm going to run my own agenda as well. Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's like a thing, right?
Can I ask you, if you were in that position, would you go back down to welterweight or would you move up?
I wouldn't go down. I can't go down.
No.
No.
This is not possible anymore.
I'm still playing with the idea of going up to light heavy, dude.
Are you now? Is this part of your new strategy?
No, it's just like, I'm a big dude, much bigger than people think I am. Yeah.
Fair.
I don't know.
Last question for you.
I don't want these stressful questions.
All right. Last question for you. This might be stressful. I'm sorry. Ilia Topuria, what do you think about him saying that he wants to retire by the age of 30? He said that consistently, and I feel like him fighting for a double belt is part of his plan. He wants to make money, make bank, and just exit as soon as possible. What are your thoughts on that?
Mate, if he said that and he executes it, then hats off to him. I think it takes a strong man to set up a game plan like that, to set a plan out in motion and then to execute it, especially with the allure of money being waved in your face constantly, and what could be. It's like Khabib, all the respect in the world to him, because he said he was going to his last fight and that's it. He's done now.
Speaking of Khabib, by the way, I don't know if you saw the training video that DJ did with Khabib and Islam and Umar. I love Khabib, man. I just like his outlook on life. He got asked the question whether he likes being a coach, and he's like, no, I personally don't like it. It's stressful, but I've got to be there. I've got to be there for Islam. I've got to be there for Umar. I really like Khabib. I really like Khabib, and I like the way that it's just his mental and the way that he coaches.
He's a good guy, eh?
He's a good guy. But that was it. That was all the UFC news for this podcast. Next up, I don't know if you caught wind of all the announcements at the Game Awards, Rob, which, by the way, Astrobot did win Game of the Year. I just wanted to mention that.
As it should.
As it should have, right? But a bunch of games were announced, and I want to get your thoughts on one in particular, right? There are a few games that I think that interest you. First of all, Witcher 4, there was a debut trailer, and Ciri is going to be the protagonist in that. Naughty Dog announced their new game. What's it called? Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. So kind of like a space game, very different to The Last of Us. Okami 2 was revealed. Onimusha as well. Capcom announced that. And also Elden Ring Night Rain. It's a standalone co-op Elden Ring game. What do you think of that, bro? Is that sick?
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
You're going to finally play it? Get back in Elden Ring?
I'm still not. I almost played Elden Ring the other day, but then I was like, I can't bother.
But if it's a new game, surely it gets your motivation back, right?
I don't know. I need to see more about what sort of game it is. I like the way multiplayer is done in like Elden Ring and the Dark Souls series. I like it. I like the PvP. I like the invasions. I don't know. I do feel like FromSoft is really starting to like make some. What's the word I'm looking for? Like they're making it much easier for just the general gamers to enter the platform, which is a good thing, I guess. But it makes all us old heads kind of like, man, I don't like change. Right? Like I liked how janky and how unforgiving and how annoying some of the older games were.
Fair.
Because it was just like that's the type of flavor it was. Whereas like I feel like Elden Ring, especially with the new weapons that came out in the Shadow of the Erdtree, it's just become so hack and slashy. Like it was less about that. It was more about timing, putting your shield up and running around in circles away from the swinging arm. You know what I mean? Like it was never glorious, but it was effective.
But I don't know. Can I ask you this though? You just talked about how excited you were when you were playing Helldivers 2 with your mate. Yeah. Can you not picture that in Elden Ring Night Rain? And I assume, I don't think they talked about this, I assume PvP could still be a thing. Could you imagine 2v2 battles in Elden Ring Night Rain?
Well, that's one of the things I think everybody wants is to be able to invade with your mate, right?
It'd be so good. It'd be so much fun, man.
Nothing beats when you're running through, like, running through the game and you get invaded. It's like so-and-so's invading you. You're like, when you're playing with your mate, you're so G'd up at that point. Like, you're so ready for this. I love it, dude. But, I don't know. I think I need to see more to be able to really comment on it.
All right. Well, some other announcements as well. We finally saw some gameplay of Borderlands 4. I know you're not into shooters, but I don't know how I felt about it. The designs of the Vault Hunters in particular didn't wow me. I think I need to see more actual gameplay. But Helldivers 2 getting a major update, Omen of Tyranny, Virtua Fighter was announced as well. It was a pretty good Game Awards, man.
I think that drop's already happened, the Helldivers 2.
There was a
back or whatever.
Killzone one, I believe. I don't know if Omen of Tyranny has come. Are you still playing, by the way?
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, Omen of Tyranny has dropped, but I'm not playing it because it keeps bricking my computer, dude.
Are you serious? No.
I don't know why. It just like hard crashes my computer. Like I get like a black screen.
Is this your new like Zen build as well?
Yeah. So it's got nothing to do with the computer.
It's a game problem, right?
It's a game thing. It just like it disconnects. I think it overheats something, but then I have to hard reset the computer to bring it back, and that's bad for the computer. Like at one point, I hard reset it and it wouldn't turn on for a little bit, and it stressed me out. So I'm like, screw it. Like I want to play it so bad, dude.
Damn,
so bad. But yeah, until something happens.
Well, speaking of, let's move on to what we're watching,
let me mention
and reading.
The Witcher 4 with Ciri as a main character. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know.
All right, let's get into it. Why don't you?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if I can play it. No, I do know. I'm not going to play it. I can't.
Wait. But you played it with Geralt.
Yeah, and that was as me stretching.
Because we know that you never like playing as an actual character. You like to envision yourself.
I need to be able to make my own character because I immerse myself too hard.
Can I be honest? Like, I feel like slowly but surely, like more and more, you've just completely gotten away from games that you can't create your own character. Like you're just done with that as a game.
It has. It's funny you've mentioned that because they're the two things that have like slowly, I've noticed as well, have slowly taken over me. If I can't make my own character, I'm almost never inclined to play it. But also, if the story's too heavy, I can't play it. Like I don't have it in me anymore. You know, but I will say, Witcher 3 was a work of art.
Then you've got to give it a go. You've got to give it a chance. You can't say that and then not try it.
I can't do. I don't think I can play a game that with such an incredible story. Like you can't pause and walk off and go help your kids make lunch, and then come back and resume this with the same level of investment in the story. So I can't get into Baldur's Gate 3. Like
you've tried.
I don't have that life anymore, dude. If I can't pause and walk away and come back and not feel like I've missed out on something.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. It's Do you know that Lord of the Rings meme where you walk away from a game for 1 week and it's like, I have no knowledge of this place? Yeah. I do get that with very story-heavy games. In fact, and we can jump into the what we're watching, playing, and reading segment. I've really tried, my wife and I have really tried to get into Arcane Season 2. And I know it's fantastic. I know it's phenomenal. But I just completely forgot what happened in the first season. And they didn't do a recap. And because they didn't do a recap, I'm just like, I have no idea what's going on. I've lost all that memory.
Yeah.
Is your kid there, by the way?
So my youngest daughter, Sophia, has just started like walking in her walker. And now she just flies around flies around the house. A menace. In the little walker. It's so cute, dude. But yeah, no, I completely get it. It happens with books all the time. That's why I mentioned last week that if you're one of the authors that puts a recap before like it, you deserve an award of your own. Like it's just that is such a considerate thing to do because like 90% of us have smooth brain.
But there's just so much media that we're consuming. Like it's natural that you forget about the niceties of the story and who are the characters. It just happens. Well,
and I read I do read a lot of books. I read a lot of books. Okay. Sometimes, and they're all very similar. Sometimes they blur together and I can't tell what happened in which book. Like when I'm trying to remember like book 1 or something, I can't remember.
That's fair.
The same thing happens with anime when I'm watching like three different animes at once, like because it's like a seasonal thing. I can't remember which one, and they're all very similar because for whatever reason, anime seasons always bring out the same crap generally.
They're all the same trope. They're all shown in
all the same trope. Like, so it's like a lot of that happens the same thing. Like they all start blurring together and I can't remember which one's which.
Dude, and there are some anime where I've looked at pictures of 2 different characters and I'm like, they are the same guy. They're the exact same bloody guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? I think it was Legend of the Shield Hero and Black Clover. There are 2 characters that look the exact bloody same. Make it different.
They all kind of look the same, dude.
They all do. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They all do. Have you been playing anything though at all?
Well, because Helldiver bricked on me, and I was still in that kind of like squad-based mood. I jumped onto Vermintide 2. Oh
yeah, how's it going?
You ever played that?
No.
It's like Helldivers but with Warhammer. It's cool. It's cool. The harder difficulties are really hard. And I'm terrible, and I still can't pick which one I like the most.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's like a melee version of Helldivers. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
every hero gets their own sort of abilities. Kind of like Overwatch, I guess, but like with PvE, not really PvP. But yeah, I was doing that. I haven't had a lot of time lately. It's like it's a festive season. I don't know what it is. All I want to do is just go like sit on a chair outside. And just lay there, do nothing.
Swim in the pool. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like it's Christmas. You know, I want to. My emails keep stacking up. I'm just like, it's Christmas. I don't want to do it. It's like Christmas is 5 days away, dude. It's crazy.
It is nuts that you say that, man. And funnily enough, last week or so, I haven't played any like console PC games. But what I have been playing, and I'm kind of a little bit embarrassed to mention it. TCG Pocket, the new Pokemon game on mobile. Dude, I've never got this invested into a mobile game. I'm spending serious cash opening up booster packs and trying to get into the meta and battling people and collecting all the cards.
I'm it a card game, obsessed, man. Like a card game?
So think about, I don't know if you ever collected Pokemon cards in the past. A bunch of booster packs. You can open booster packs, collect cards. There's a set amount of cards that you can collect, different rarities as well. So you're trying to get the rares, you're trying to get the holos. And then once you build a deck, you can fight other people, either solo or people online. It's so much fun and it's so bloody addicting. And you just want to spend a little bit more. Yeah, no, it would be, I don't know if there is an equivalent with Magic, there probably is, but a mobile kind of Magic, but very slimmed down. There's a limited number of cards, which makes the battling and the meta more simplistic, but you're only allowed to open a certain amount of packs each day. You can get a currency through different challenges to open a little bit more, but if you really want to get into it, you got to spend money. And I'm just like, $60, $30, opening up packs. It's bad, bro. I'm so addicted.
Is there like, so the whales out there, once they start buying everything, right? Is there like at the higher end, is there different strategies of playing? Is there different type of combos or
100%?
Like, I don't know, because I can only compare it to Magic, whereas like you can spend heaps of money, but there's that many different types of decks you can form. It's like it's crazy. Obviously, there's a meta, but
yeah, I would say that it doesn't have the level of depth of Magic in terms of what I understand of it, and the number of cards isn't there. There's probably like, I think it's like 290 cards or so, maybe closer to 300, because they just released an expansion, which is not that many compared to Magic. Because it's a slimmed down version of the Pokemon trading card game. But there are different decks which are considered meta, some very cool combinations, especially with the latest expansion. It's a lot of fun, man. If you like Pokemon, if anyone out there likes Pokemon and likes trading card games, and you don't mind a mobile game, try it. It's proper addicting. I'm having the best time, man.
You know what I realized about myself? And I've always played the Pokemon games now and then and whatnot. I don't like Pokemon, dude.
Fair. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
I don't like any sort of pet-based Anymon.
Hold on. You like Power World. You like Power World.
I didn't.
You had fun there.
I like guns. And I like shooting pals. Okay? I didn't like the pals themselves, except for the ones you could ride.
Wait, you only played that game because you could shoot them. You hated them that much.
Well, I just didn't use them. All I did was, like, if I go onto my save, no joke, I'll send you a screenshot later. It's just literally bases made with conveyor belts and slaves. That's it.
That's so funny.
That's all they do. They're just at the conveyor belts making me Pokeballs.
and waves of dead pals across the world.
And they die from starving and then you just replace them.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
I don't like pets. I don't like pet builds or anything in those sort of games. But Digimon is different. Digimon's different.
Digimon is cool. It is very cool.
Digimon's the coolest, dude. The coolest.
Digimon was always more mature Pokemon. 100%.
Oh, yeah, but it was also kind of stupid and crazy. Like, you start seeing some of the later evolutions. I swear it's two dudes drunk off their head, just like, what if we made a goat with machine guns? They're like, goat with machine gun mon. It's sick, dude. It's so good. I love it. It's so stupid.
Well, because some of them, it's a little cute pet little fucking rabbit thing, and then it goes into this like angel dude. I can't remember the transformation. It doesn't make sense whatsoever.
No, they don't at all.
But that was what we're watching.
I remember playing the games, and all I could ever get was that Pumon, Sakumon.
Are you talking about the actual like Digimon, like the portable one?
Yeah, the Pumon, like the Sakumon. Was his name Sakumon?
I can't remember
something like that. Sakumon.
I'm not going to Google Pumon because I don't know what the hell's going to come up in my search
history. I'm pretty sure his name was either Sakumon or Pumon. Like, every time I try my hardest, training him perfectly, feed him at a certain time, follow all the guides, still get Pumon.
Because you fed him, you let the poo sit for too long. That's the problem.
No, it's not. I don't know what it was. I followed guides and I still only got Pumon. I don't know. Numamon. His name was Numamon.
Numamon. Nothing is coming up.
Nothing?
Can someone in the comments tell us what Digimon Rob is talking about?
I'm sure it was Numamon or Numamon or Sakumon.
No, I like Digimon, don't get me wrong, but I was always Pokemon. That was my jam. But last segment, viewer questions. As always, if you have any questions for the viewer question segment, let us know in the comments below. Leave a question mark, by the way, because it helps filter out the questions. First up is from @theman from Nepal 6646. Hi Rob, quick question. Do you train at a single gym or do you go to different gyms for striking, grappling, etc. when you are not in camp?
No, I generally do a lot of my training at where I am, like at Smeaton Grange, at my gym.
Yeah.
That's Gracie Smeaton Grange. That's where I do all my training right now. But the training kind of changes. Depends on what I'm focusing on. I will go to other gyms if the block that I'm running includes that sort of training. But right now, I'm doing tons of gi. I'm a gi guy now. So I'm just doing lots and lots of gi training. So, and I'm enjoying it because, like, I started with gi, my jiu-jitsu kind of path, but straight away from it with MMA. But now I've come full circle, but it's cool learning all the tricks again, trying to work out like the grips again and etc. And it's just stressful, dude. I get like anxiety at the beginning of the class to the end of the class because everyone's, dude, you don't know what's going on. So there's so much going on. You don't know which grip is a bad grip, which grip I have to break, which grip I can work with. It's fun, dude,
it's fun. You and Mighty Mouse. Mighty's getting really into grappling with a gi and doing tournaments. Could you do that after you retire, like DJ? Could you see yourself doing that?
I don't know. I think once I retire, I don't think I'll have a competitive itch anymore.
Fair.
Look, I'm putting a lot of work in. Obviously, I've been fighting for a long time, like a long time, and I've been doing this for so long that I think like I'm sated, right? Yeah. I have to wait and see though. Who knows?
Rob, we honestly forget how long that you've been doing it because you've been in the top echelon of that division for so bloody long. It's actually crazy to say that you like just after the likes of like Bisping and GSP. It's crazy. I still remember that face off that you and Bisping had in the ring. A clip comes up on shorts all the bloody time. It's the funniest thing because he throws down the belt. He's like, "It's disgusting that you're sending this with the belt," and then you're like, "Can I have that?" It's the funniest. It's the funniest clip in the world, bro. Honestly,
can't take the Menai out of me, mate.
Next question is from @GloriaGaming1875. Rob, no Path of Exile 2 mention. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play it.
Is there a reason? It seems like it'd be
I
up
don't
your
like
alley.
season games. That's kind of why I dropped Magic recently. Not recently. I dropped because they play seasonal. And I fell for the FOMO of Diablo 4 when it first came out. But again, I have no interest in like grinding super hard because games consume me. So if I invest all this time into a seasonal character that gets wiped next season, what have I got to show for it?
Fair.
You know? People could say that about Helldive and stuff too, but it's different.
No, Helldive is different. You don't lose your equipment or anything.
Yeah, exactly. And like you don't lose your skills.
And the thing I like about Helldivers too is it does. I know they're backtracking a little bit with this kill zone thing, I believe, but there is no FOMO because you can go in at any time, not having played for weeks, and still get the skins that everyone else has. That's why I really like Helldivers too.
Yep. Yeah.
Next question.
I don't think I'm jumping on.
Fair. Next question is from @Lancer98. Jonny, will you be at the Sydney press conference? If so, is the game plan to make someone cry again? I wanted to include this question to clarify.
Who'd you make cry?
I didn't make anyone cry. This is what happened. I don't know if you saw the clip, but I asked, this was the Perth press conference with Israel and Drickus, and I asked Drickus, hey, the odds for your fight with Israel are getting shorter and shorter. Israel was the favorite initially, and they were pretty much neck and neck. It was a pick 'em at that stage. And then Israel was like, when did I become the underdog? And then Drickus jumped in with a dog question. And at that stage, Izzy did not cry. But it wasn't my comment. I didn't say anything about underdog. It was later that it happened. So I just want to say I didn't make anyone cry. I asked a legitimate, professional question about odds. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right? Last question is from @SomeGuy701. Question for Rob and Jonny. What's your favorite open world game?
Oh, you go first.
It's always Fallout 3. Every other day of the week. Fallout 3 is my favorite game of all time. I don't think that's ever going to change. But I find it hard to get back into nowadays. Like, I feel like I need to wait another few years before doing another playthrough. But it would always be Fallout 3. How about you,
man? I reckon maybe Caves of Cud. Maybe Caves of Cud. Like, maybe. Trying to think of anything else.
So very funny that you mentioned this, bro. I saved this tweet. There's this viral clip going around. Do you remember the podcast that you did with DJ? And then DJ's like, what kind of games do you play? And you're like, I play games that you probably haven't heard of. And DJ's like, try me. And then you're like, Caves of Cud, Majayal. And then people are essentially saying that how much of a real one that you are because you're naming some really obscure roguelike games. It's very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, if you like roguelikes, like proper roguelikes, then you'll love those games. But probably Caves of Cud. Like Caves of Cud's the only game. And shout out to Caves of Cud. Came out 1.0 the other day. Congratulations. Such a good game. When it says open world, it's proper, true open world. You can break the game open in spades if you want to. Like there is nothing you can't really not do in the game with enough persistence and dedication to doing whatever you want to do. Yeah. Anything you want to do. And I mean, like, anything, dude. Like, it can get really wild. Like, you want to make a 17-armed mutant Gatling gun spewing bazooka boy? You can do that. Like, you can. It's just tricky. It's so cool. Like, and I guess the greatest example is, like, you can literally make a character work, and I've done this once, and I haven't had the time, I haven't had the patience to do it again. You level up a guy so far to be able to mind control a guy that can shapeshift into any other sort of dude, okay? But then, like, when you mind control him, you kill your original body, which traps you in the body of the new shapeshifter. Now you have the ability to shapeshift into anything else. And then you can go to the last boss of the game and shapeshift into him, and then just go around killing everything like silliness.
That's pretty crazy, dude.
It's cool. It's really cool, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know. I reckon that's probably my favorite open world game.
Fair. I wanted to mention that tweet, by the way. It had like 1.2 million views. It was very, very funny. But that is it. That is episode 54 of the MMArcade podcast. Thank you for staying along until this stage. Rob, we're almost at Christmas, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, we're almost at the holiday season. I will let you have the floor. Please give everyone a send-off for the Christmas holiday break. And yeah, it's all yours, man.
Yep. I just want to say Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for bearing with us the entire year. It is now another festive part of the year. And
hell yeah.
I hope you guys eat heaps, be merry, get lots of gifts from Santa. And if you don't believe in Santa, then pretend. And just, stay tuned. We're going to do a holiday wrap-up. And thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Take care.